Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome to another video where I go through the new 2020 BMW M3, the G80 rear-wheel drive manual, and these are my thoughts on the new exciting M3. So yeah, I'll get straight into the video really. So yes, welcome again to another video. I hope everyone is well. And today I wanted to go through a bit of my thoughts on this new car. It's recently been announced a little bit further in detail this week by BMW. And it's quite exciting to me to see, particularly the rear-wheel drive manual kind of element of it, which is sort of customary with the M3 in general. So yeah, let's get straight through and I'll take you through the initial specs of the car and show you, well, the first image really. So yes, here's the image of the M3, obviously in sort of camo form. We're on the 4th of July actually, 2020, so early days. The car is actually set to be released in September 2020, so not too long to go. The specs of this G80 car is actually, the power output actually ranges from the different models, which is quite interesting as well. So initially you get 480 brake horsepower rear wheel drive manual. That's what it's kind of set up as. And down the line you'll get 510 brake horsepower, 8-speed M Steptronic X-Drive four-wheel drive system. And I think it mixes and matches between the two. So that's quite cool. It's a 3-litre 6-cylinder engine, which again is nice to see. It's still, even though it's turbocharged, it still retains that sort of 6-cylinder noise. Hopefully it's quite good. From the videos I've kind of seen it, it seems pretty decent to me. Torque is 650 newton meters, which is strong enough. Kerb weight, I'm not too sure. I couldn't really find too much around that, but expect it to weigh sort of around 1700 kilos, particularly with all the new laws and stuff involved. Front tyres, it's got 19-inch fronts and 20-inch rears, which is a little bit different. 275 sections on the front and 285s on the rear. So that's kind of your specs there on the M3. So yeah, let's get talking about this car a little bit more, shall we? So first of all, I'm really excited that they're still maintaining a rear-wheel drive manual car in this kind of day and age. It's not something that's particularly popular. To be honest with you, it's quite popular with enthusiasts, but in terms of an actual marketing model and a business model, it doesn't always make sense. Now, the M3 and the M4 as well have always had their sort of restrictions due to the likes of the M5 and the M6. It can't really step on their toes. It's just the hierarchy that they have in the BMW M division. As a result, they've never normally had the X-Drive system, but this time they've got it, which is cool. It's likely to be rear-wheel drive bias anyway, but it'll certainly improve the performance and the 0-60 time and all that kind of stuff. For me, the car that I'm most excited about is the manual version. Now, I've seen clips this week and it looks good going around track. I'll leave a link to some of the BMW videos on this as well. And what excites me the most is it seems like that's the first car they're going to release, and it's likely to be a car which is going to be priced, I can't really use the word cheapest, but priced more affordably, to be honest, compared to say like a fully spec'd 8-speed M Steptronic X-Drive system, which is great because, to be honest with you, that's a car that specific people will kind of go for. Most people will want that four-wheel drive system and that automatic gearbox, no question. And to be honest with you, they're probably going to have to pay a premium for it. It's, prices wise, if I look in the UK trying to work out where it would kind of sit, I'd probably say the rear-wheel drive manual car is going to be somewhere around sort of the £55,000 mark, similar to what the last one was. And the X-Drive 8-speed is likely to be 60,000 plus. We'll have to see when prices are officially announced. Now, this car is quite cool because if you're not familiar with my channel, to be honest, if you own a Mark 7 Golf R, I do a lot of VW type content on here. And I've always loved that car. A top of the range car, which is sort of a lower spec, if that makes sense, at more affordable prices for normal people. We don't have unlimited amounts of money, so it's quite nice to be able to get into a top product and not necessarily have to pay the premium and actually get a more engaging experience at the same time. So my car is a 3-door manual Golf R, not necessarily the pick for everyone, but something that I enjoy using, and I was able to get myself into it because of that. It was a more affordable price and I love it for it. Now, this is the same with the BMW M3 as well. You can kind of get yourself into that car and have a hell of a lot of fun. And to be honest with you, you look at like the size of the tyres, the staggered kind of setup with 19 inches at the front, 20 inches at the rear. It's going to have a lot of mechanical grip anyway. And I've always found, like, from the M2 and sort of driving the M2 competition in the past around track, they always feel a little bit, I know it's going to sound weird, a little bit rolly, to be honest with you. They don't really particularly have the fixed, firm suspension. You know, I'd say my previous Fiesta ST rolled less from my experience, to be honest, on that. So, which is a little bit strange, not something I was expecting. It's also got a very short wheelbase, so it can be quite a twitchy car. Certainly once you lose it, it can be quite hard to control if you've got traction and everything turned off. Now, cars like the M3 and the M4 as well, which they're basically the exact same car, different looks, slightly longer wheelbase means that you can control it a little bit more. It's a little bit more grown up, a little bit more predictable, and a whole lot of fun in the meantime as well. You know, something which might be a little bit more usable on the road, to be honest with you, compared to its younger brother, the M2. It's always been great. It's always been such an iconic car in the world. You know, the Golf GTI set sort of like the benchmark of like hot hatches, and you know, I hope it stays around forever. M3's been around for ages. You know, I go back even say, okay, 10, 15 years ago, not too long, and I'd see the M3 on Top Gear up against like your Audi RS4 and the C63, the Mercedes. And I used to love the M3 because it was just, it was more fun. It just seemed a little bit more fun, but more controlled than, say, the C63. C63 was almost too wild. The Audi was potentially a little bit more restrained. And the M3 just seemed to set that middle ground, that balance really, really well. And that's the type of car that I enjoy. And obviously BMW have such a huge following. And this car, to be honest with you, okay, the looks is quite hard to tell because it's under camo, but it's going to look similar to the new 3 Series. And yeah, that grille is a bit obscene to me in some ways. You know, it's almost like someone's sitting with their chin up high kind of thing, you know, trying to say they're almost a step above the other cars on the road, that kind of thing. And I don't really like that. I like for example, like I've got my Golf R. It's quite under the radar. I don't particularly care what other people think about it. I just want to kind of go about my day. So yeah, looks are a little bit weird, although I do like how it will still blend in to most other 3 Series on the road. Maintains that quad tailpipes as well, which is always a bit of a trademark on the M3. So overall, what do I kind of think about this car? I think it's great that they're still making it, that they're still able to chuck in a manual. They're still maintaining the rear-wheel drive sort of option as just like a standalone product on its own. I hope prices-wise it's going to be more affordable for people like myself, enthusiasts, other BMW enthusiasts as well, to be able to get into and to be able to enjoy, because you know, cars which are designed to be used on the road like this, it's a 3 Series saloon at the end of the day. It's not an out-and-out track car, but you can take it to a track if you wish. It's just brilliant. It's the jack of all trades. It can do multiple things, and it can be fun at the same time. And to be honest with you, okay, it's not going to have that same V8 soundtrack from decades gone, but it's not going to sound bad. From the clips that I've seen, okay, it's a bit strangled, but it's not that bad. You know, they could have probably squeezed in a 4-cylinder in there and really up the power, up the boost. I don't know. They could have done a few things, but they didn't. They maintained that 6-cylinder. And 480 brake horsepower on a base model is a hell of a lot. I mean, 510 brake horsepower on the top of the range sort of X-Drive. That thing is going to shift. That is like, you know, 911 GT3 power. That is just ridiculous. It's a car that is going to be able to beat most things on the road. It's a real step above what, say, like the hot hatches, to be honest with you. It's really sort of gone that further ahead, and you know where you're kind of getting your money from. Big hot hatch fan, but this is going to be a huge step above. And it's such a difficult time in the automotive industry that I guess a lot of people were worried that they weren't going to be able to make this car, they weren't going to be able to justify things, but they have. They've been able to use all their technology and their know-how from like the M5, and they're going to push it into the M3, and that's just how the trail should work, and that's a great business model from BMW. And I really think it's clever that they're sort of announcing that, oh yeah, rear-wheel drive, manual sort of aspect of it, because that's what enthusiasts love. And all I see is comments from people saying, oh, it's great to see a manual, great to see a manual, great to see a manual. And it's true. You know, and it doesn't even matter if you're an expert, you know, you know how to heel and toe, you know how to rev match, you know how to do all those things. It doesn't really matter. It's just a little bit more engagement. It does have rev matching, which can help out if you're on an unfamiliar track, or if you just want to have some fast driving, you just want to go as fast as the car can go. That's going to be quicker than you heel and toeing yourself. I think that's cool. Yeah, and it's just not something we're going to see because, you know, how long are they going to keep the manual gearbox going? I don't know. How many manuals will they sell compared to, well, how many rear-wheel drive cars will they sell compared to the X-Drive and the 8-speed M Steptronic? It's going to be interesting, the ratio. You know, I probably would say 70-80% of cars are going to have the 8-speed, are going to have four-wheel drive. That's going to be what I would suggest is what's going to make BMW the money. But what will make them the headlines is sharing this manual car. And I think it's going to be a cool car to see. I can't wait to see it unveiled in September. You know, everything's online nowadays. Everything's documented through that days. You know, we don't get Geneva Motor Show, we don't get Goodwood Festival Speed, we don't get all these kind of events to kind of see these cars now. So this is the best way to do it. And I really wanted to kind of talk you through my thoughts of it. I haven't done a massive amount of BMW content, but I do love the M brand. I'm a big fan of the M2. The M2 was a big car that, to be honest with you, I still think about today in terms of getting. The M3 seems a little bit more grown up and a noticeable step on to, say, like a Golf R, whereas an M2, I don't necessarily see the massive gains, other than the lack of practicality, to be honest with you. I think the technology inside cars are way too much, to be honest with you, for most everyday road users, and this BMW is going to be absolutely no different. So as always, I'm really interested to know your thoughts as well in the comments on this car. From what you know now, in early July 2020, and a bit of a casual video kind of talking about it. You know, what does it kind of compete against the M3? Does it compete against like a Porsche or something like that? You look at Caymans and the like, which are of similar price points, but obviously less practical. You can't get 5 people in it. You can't really get luggage in it, really. Is it a sports car? You know, I probably would say it is. You know, 500 brake horsepower, 510 brake horsepower is loads. In kilowatts, that's 353 kilowatts, 375 kilowatts for the 510 brake horsepower. So that is a lot, and a lot of people love, well, some people love modifying their cars and trying to get that, you know, ridiculous power, the most that they can possibly get out of it. You know, if you're sitting in a 500 brake horsepower M3, I don't really know you're going to be wishing for much more, particularly if you're driving it on a day-to-day basis. You've got that security that has been designed and developed so precisely in a German way, around the Nordschleife, around different tracks, around bumpy roads, really tested to a high amount, because it's a full fat M car. It's not like a little M Light or anything like that. They put what they can into it. And I sort of talk about technology, which isn't the be all or end all in a car. I think, you know, if you want all the technology in the world, you want autonomous driving, just get a fully autonomous car. That's just my opinion. I like the simplicity. I like the simplicity of a 6-speed manual gearbox. It's not complicated. There's less to go wrong, in my opinion. There's less electronics involved, although I'm sure there is plenty. And well, you look at auto rev matching, that's an electronic component. Overall, I'm really looking forward to seeing this car and seeing more about it. And yeah, I'm really interested to know your thoughts as well. Slightly different video. I don't do many BMW type videos, and you know, I've done a lot of kind of my thoughts videos in the past, and I kind of want to bring that back and do a little bit of a series. You know, I record these and then I put them up pretty much straight away, so this isn't like a delayed video. I get videos to you as quickly as I possibly can. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little discussion around it, and I'm interested to continue the discussion in the comments below and get your thoughts on it. And if you want to know any more, if you want to see any future videos, let me know and I'll kind of address them. You know, comments are really important to the channel. You know, I do try to read every comment, and yeah, really interested to know your thoughts. Well, we'll have to see what this car is like over in September this year. So not too long to go, 2-3 months. So we'll see what it's like. But I think exciting for BMW M fans. Certainly something that interests me. A little bit more of a grown-up car, to be honest with you. which packs a massive punch. And it's a special car in that sense as well. So yeah, we'll see what it's all about. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your support and your feedback to the channel. Give it a like if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe for plenty more content to come. And you know, plenty of support recently over the channel, and I really appreciate that, particularly over tricky times. I try to make as many videos as I can. It's an automotive channel, it's stuff that I enjoy, and I really, yeah, I'm glad you lot are enjoying it as well. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Plenty more content to come. And yeah, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.